Of all the general circulation magazines in the 20th century, I don't think any was as well known and well loved as Life. Life magazine. Everybody read it, or at least looked at the pictures. They were very well known for their pictures. So, what's this Life magazine? This is that very same Life magazine, just an earlier incarnation. The familiar look we all know began in 1936, when Time magazine bought Life. And that's when the emphasis on photography in Life began. Before that, the magazine looked like this. The cover art here is great. Oh, and there's a caption. The other fellow had the breaks. Aha. Let's look inside and see what's going on the week of February 17, 1927. Oh, first we see a nice ad for the Chrysler Imperial 80. That's some nice art there. Chrysler model numbers mean miles per hour, so the 80 goes 80. I did not know this. No matter how much you may admire the car you now own, the Chrysler Imperial 80 offers a decidedly new and unique adventure in joyous motoring. From the moment of your initial experience in the Imperial 80, you will be satisfied with nothing less. In speed, power, smoothness, luxury of appointment, riding and driving ease, the Imperial 80 is a challenge to you to be dissatisfied with the conventional and the commonplace. It is an invitation to know the sheer delight of stepping from the finest car of yesterday to the finest that money can build. Now, over here, ladies prefer a Simonized car. Sure, I look happy. We just dry cleaned our car. I never dreamed that it could ever look so beautiful, she says. So this is an ad for Simonize. Simonize, in the 50s and 60s, you could use like a verb for waxing the car. We need to Simonize the car, you know? Yeah, people said that. Now we have a big poem running down the middle. I read a little bit of it and I won't bore you with it. But over here, you don't need a wire beard to like Fougere Royale, if I'm saying that right. But if you have one, you will. And here is Fougere Royale, if I'm saying that right, shaving cream. It comes in a tube. Shaving cream in a tube with a coupon. You can send a dime and they'll mail you one. Great. And here, another full-page ad. This one for Listerine. After shaving, amazing exhilaration like a cold shower. The men are all talking about what a delight Listerine is after shaving. It is impossible to describe its effect on you. Oh, I'll bet. All the thrill of a cold shower is there, with none of the trouble, and a fraction of the time. It starts you off with a bang, I bet, and the whole world looks brighter. Just try it and see, and find for yourself why we are not taking a chance in risking our money to tell you. Douse it on, full strength. After the hot water, it closes the pores and draws up the muscles. Muscles. You look younger, even feel younger, and you are left with a nice feeling of safety, because Listerine insures you against possible infection. Lambert Pharmaceutical Company, St. Louis, USA. Now over here, the magazine gets started and has a lot of text, which, again, I read some of it, and I'm going to spare you. We'll just do the cartoons, huh? Let's pretend it's like we're at the dentist office, and we open a magazine. We're just going to read the cartoons. We don't want to get into something too much because, we'll get called for our appointment. So here goes with the cartoons. I say, is this the village of Skinnerville? Sure. What'd you think it was? Coral Gables? Oh, now that's funny stuff. And over here, we've got another cartoon, Mr. Underhill. This is our latest achievement, a typewriter for the Chinese trade. Aha, it has a key for every Chinese character. That's some funny stuff, too, there. Down here, going down to meet Daddy. this has a dog in a fancy car and people looking inside. I don't get it. So on to the next one. Let's read this one here. But no horse laughs. A sidewalk lined with smiling pedestrians. A liveried chauffeur slyly grins, while his sedate, gray-haired passenger is genuinely amused. Plain, ordinary flivver drivers shake with mirth. Truck and taxi drivers laugh boisterously. Motormen openly exhibit their glee. Impudent newsboys jeer at the embarrassed victim. The horns of a dozen or more cars blocked by the green driver have a sardonic tone. A traffic officer looks on and roars. The comedy is being furnished by a brother traffic cop learning to drive. I see. So that's a funny thing, huh? Laughing at somebody trying to learn something. Yeah, that's hilarious. And the next one, the Scotchman was taking a drink of American liquor. And what, he asked, do they pay you for drinking this? I should do a Scottish accent. And what? I can't do that. So it's just not funny. Even with a Scottish accent, which I can hear in my mind, it's not funny. So, well, I can see why they went with a picture magazine format and left the cartoons to the New Yorker. All right, this one says, yes, their divorce was a very quiet affair, owing to a recent bereavement in her family. Yeah, that's funny, too. So somebody died, so the divorce was quiet. Great. Now, down here, this looks like another cartoon of a guy. What's he doing? I can't tell. In the good old caveman days, the motto of the heavy necker was club 'em and leave 'em. Oh, yeah, that's hilarious, too. Caveman misogyny kind of thing. Now, let's look at this one. What happened to your stenographer? She left. She caught me kissing my wife. Yeah, see, that has almost some humor in it. And this one down here. George's father. George, did you cut down that tree? And little George Washington says, after reading a True magazine, one of those True confession magazines, he says, Father, as an example to others who may walk in my path of sin, I will confess. It is with the hope that others will realize, before they take the fatal step, that I will unburden my soul to you, etc., etc. Well, I kind of like that one. That's kind of funny. And here's this big one over here. It has first panel is a woman, a young woman, what they would call in those days a flapper type, I think, although she doesn't have the hat. So there she is, and now she's lifting her skirt a bit, and a little bit more, and now we see the under things, and oh boy, this is fun. And then some other stuff, and it continues, and she goes and puts herself back together, and the caption is slow motion picture of a young lady adjusting her skirt. And that gets a full page for that. Now this, I like this layout over here. It's a nice layout. I can't read it. Abmalian, or is that S supposed to go with it? No. Abmalian and Lizzie T. Okay, I don't know. Let's see. Some years ago, I seen Ab Eads peruse a book wherein he reads how old pig Malian sculpt a she that come to life named Galati and okay, I'm not going to go any more with that. You get the general idea. I like this picture. That's pretty good. That our hero utter consternation upon perceiving the answer to his prayer. Okay, great. Let's move on. A big cartoon here. Nightclub Reveler. Pardon me, but would you mind changing places with us? We're tired of dancing on this spot. I see. It's a twist on not change partners, but change places, because it's so tight on the dance floor. Gee, that's hilarious. Down here, the guy is walking. He still owes me for that suit. He has a placard. He's pointing at this guy walking on the street. And that's called follow-up advertising. Okay. And over here we have Wealth Insight. Whoopee, cried the promoter. What now? Sell some more bum stock? Asked the caller. No, roared the happy man. They discovered mineral water in one of our oil wells. Oh, topical humor, I guess. Mineral water was the next big thing, perhaps. I don't know. A word of advice, don't give it. Yeah. And the next page reveals a problem in etiquette. Should he pick them up or let the waiter do it? Aha. And down here, truck driver to stalled motorist. What's the matter, buddy? Forget to wind it up this morning? Yeah, like it's a toy, I see. That's funny. Now, over here is the Alibi Contest. You get $100 weekly in prizes. Below is pictured Alibi number 10. This week's starting point for devotees of the soft answer and the easy out. So this is making excuses. This is a contest where you write in your excuses. And let's look at this one up here at the left. The cop says, I held up me hand and blew me whistle, and still ye go ahead. What's the big idea? And the excuse, she says, is, well, officer, you see, it was this way. I saw you raise your hand, and of course I thought it was to let me know that you were going to turn. Okay, there's some more text here, and here's another alibi number 10 over here, alibi number 10. The guy at the desk with the cigar and a woman doing something. He says this. You told me you were a faultless stenographer, but this letter is shot full of mistakes. What's the idea? She, well, you see, it's this way. Oh, I see. This is the alibi you're supposed to write and send it into the magazine. Okay, well, I'll let you decide, folks, what you would say as an alibi, and you can mail it in 100 years ago and win this contest. All right, next page. The gay 90s. When you read in an interview where some famous upstanding two-fisted man who was reared in the 90s lays his success to self-denial or early hours, etc., take it with a grain of salt. Probably he is what he is merely because of the clothes his mother made him wear when he was a boy. For after all, there is no character builder quite so effective as dressing a boy so that his honor and manhood are at stake every time he pokes his nose outside his own door. Okay, that's pretty good. Back in the days when they made kids wear short pants and stuff, and they maybe didn't want to. And rebuckled his knickerbockers below the knee. You know, that's from a musical, right? You know that. The Music Man. I gave it away. Old style and new. I can remember him when he had nothing, not even a cent to his name. I can remember him when he had a car, a player piano, a radio, a Victrola, a fur coat, and a bungalow, and not even a cent to his name. Okay. A landslide. So, Slushy has been elected to the Senate. Yes, by a $600,000 majority. Oh, ain't it the truth? Ain't it the truth? Just between us girls. Okay, this is a story I'm not going to read, but the cartoon says, fastidious hold-up man, and let me have it all in new bills, please. He's not very bright. By the way, if you want to read that whole story, I'm not stopping you. You can pause it and read it to your heart's content. Bill, has Tom learned to play the saxophone? Jill, it's hard to tell. That's good. Yeah, poor Bill, Tom, Bill, Jill, somebody. All these jokes seem to have a victim. They don't seem to be looking inward, but are just making fun of somebody else. And over here, one of China's manifest destinies is to unite Europe, at least Western Europe, and perhaps induce cooperation between that part of the world and the United States. Oh, I'm sure of it. Anyway, there's an article for you to read. You can read that if you want. And over here, a big cartoon with a caption, "Pay Dirt." Now you have this figure. Who is this figure? Justice? Blindfold? Yeah, I think that's Justice. Washing her clothes in the courts while Scandal is bringing more laundry carried by the tabloids. I think I get it. The sword, I'm not sure of. I don't know. I think we're supposed to be more up on our symbolism to understand this. Like the Scandal is to the tabloids, it's over my head. A whole big, not a cartoon, a drawing, art. That's beautiful. And the caption, "The Empty Boat." Yeah. I've watched movies with less content than this picture. 2 hours of yickety-yackety-yickety, car chases and whatnot, explosions and stuff, that had less content than this picture. All right, so far this is the highlight of the magazine. Confidential Guide. Owing to the time it takes to print Life, readers should verify from the daily newspapers the continuance of the attractions at the theaters mentioned. Oh, that's some fancy talking. What they mean is you better confirm with your local newspaper if what you see here is still going on. This is a list of shows in theaters, apparently. Shows? Live shows? Yeah, I guess. Plays? Sure. Listen, Peggy, they're going to have some old-fashioned square dances tonight. So, when you hear a whistle, don't think it's the police and jump through a window. These people frequent speakeasies and jump out the window whenever the cops come. And now here is the drama page. So this would be reviews of dramas being performed on Broadway. Once again, you're invited to read the whole thing if you want to. Use your pause button. They actually exist. Some story here. Okay, and a cartoon. Let's see. Teeth Shining Parlors, the latest novelty. 10 cents in the slot, polishes your teeth, and gives you a spray of Listerine and a stick of gum. I see. I think I'm supposed to laugh. Let's hear the laugh track. Now that makes everything funny. Over here in book notes we have, how did you observe Law and Order Day? Oh, about 50%. I placed an order with my bootlegger. Okay, I don't get that. And over here, her brother. Say, sis, lend me your engagement ring, just for a couple of weeks, will you? Huh. He's going to pawn it. That's the humor there, I think. If there is humor, that's where I found it. Now, down here, this cartoon says, sufferer from insomnia, counting the spots before his eyes to induce sleep. I see. Yeah, that's some good stuff. Dictionary, imitate, to come into a country. Monopoly, a speech made by one person. Spirits, what you put your feet into when you sit on a horse. Idiomatic, cuckoo. Nauseate, to put up a candidate. Aerobat, a slot machine restaurant. Catalepsy, a waterfall. All right, I don't get any of that. Moving on. A big drawing here of the college campus, I guess. It says, the caption says, Collegiate Impressions number 3, Preparing for Afterlife at Amherst. Okay, we have silence, it says, World Court. Nothing to say. Did you have a good time last night? Then there are photographers. Hold it, they say. Sap buckets rented. Okay. The House spokesman states that there is no basis of truth in the report that a rough party was staged. Did I pass, Professor? I am reliably informed by one close to the professor that you did not. A wise old owl lived in an oak. The more he saw, the less he spoke. The less he spoke, the more he heard. Why aren't we all like that old bird? So says Keats. Ode to a Grecian urn. My dear so-and-so, but don't quote me, I shall appoint you manager of the Glee Club, but I shall have to ask for your written resignation in advance. Okay, well, that's some good stuff there by Ellison Hoover. My goodness. And this cartoon is some ladies talking. Mother says, "Aren't you ashamed of yourself wearing so little clothing to a ball?" And daughter says, "Goodness no, Mother. If I were ashamed of myself, I wouldn't wear so little clothing to a ball." That makes sense. I like that one. And now here are a couple of people walking dogs or rats or pigs or something. I see you are a lover of animals, but what strange pets. Guinea pigs. Yes'm, you've got to have something with you nowadays to test this poison hooch you get, don't you? Yes, poison hooch. They're talking about liquor. This is prohibition when this is going on. You could not buy alcohol in America. 1927, no liquor. So, of course, they're obsessed with it because, that's how that goes. When you deny something, their obsessions swirl up and around them. First horse. I don't care for the way they have been mixing bran with our oats lately. Eighth horse. No, it goes against the grain. Yeah. Yes, dear, when Uncle George was a little boy, he looked just like you. The hell you say? I see, the kid swore. That's the humor. The kid swore. You can't have alcohol, and you can't swear if you're a kid. Those were the roaring 20s. And here's a big full-page ad for a radio company. That's what a radio looked like. One-dial controls. It's, you can work it with one dial. Radios were complicated in those days, so they were pitching the notion of its simplicity. The silent drama. I don't know. Okay, here's some more text and recent developments. Okay, moving on. Here's an ad. Keeps your hair neat, rich-looking, and orderly. Oh, yeah. Grease it down, boy. Grease it down with Glostora. Send this coupon and try it free. Our foolish contemporaries. Aut scissors, aut nullus. Whatever that means. And here is a drawing, a series of drawings with the caption Fate, which was drawn by Fitz in Sporting and Dramatic News, London. Okay. And here's a little cartoon on the bottom. On the left, it says, it would be more practical to carry license numbers on the tires instead of on the car itself. I see. So when they run them over, it leaves the license number. That's just so funny. Again, people got hurt for this joke. Great. What? You've cut off your most beautiful attribute, your long hair? Well, I can tell you now, it wasn't mine. I see. And that comes from Paris. Good heavens, Mrs. Bevan. Whatever's happened to you? Last night my husband dreamt he was being arrested. Aha, great. When it's a matter of good taste, Louis Sherry, or Louis Sherry, I don't know. It's not Dory Sherry, it's some other Sherry. Great. Over here is more stuff. An ad for Johnny Walker cigarettes. Well, you didn't see that coming, did you? Going strong. 20 for 20 cents. Extremely mild. And here's an ad for Sweden. Sweden welcomes you. I bet they do. And over here, we have semi-hex. Write 100 words with semi-hex and any other pencil. The result will tell you why semi-hex sales are rising by leaps and bounds. The result will tell you that semi-hex is your kind of pencil. Yeah. Corns. For quick, safe relief from painful corns or tender toes and pressure of tight shoes, Dr. Scholl's Xenopads or Zynopads. Insist on Kemp's Balsam for that cough. Blotchy skin need not annoy you. Pimples, blackheads, etc. are quickly dispelled by Resinol. Cortez Cigars for men of brains. Made at Key West. And here is Abe Lincoln. It says, Abraham Lincoln and the Harmonica. On one of his journeys for a debate with Douglas, Abraham Lincoln picked out of his pocket a little harmonica and played upon it, seeming to get happiness in the playing thereon, says Carl Sandburg in Lincoln, The Prairie Years. Someone remarked about his playing on the harmonica, and he said, "This is my band. Douglas had a brass band with him in Peoria, but this will do for me." Yeah, you gotta like Honest Abe. Murad, the world's best cigarette for the man who feels entitled to life's better things. And there he is right there. Spain and Italy by Motor. Oh, yeah. A sure way to end dandruff with liquid Arvon. You can't comb out dandruff. No, you can't. You just can't. Genuine Bayer aspirin. Say Bayer aspirin. Insist. Unless you see the Bayer cross on tablets, you are not getting the genuine Bayer aspirin, proved safe by millions and prescribed by physicians for 25 years. Does not affect the heart. It does not. It says right here. By Sealed Sweet, Florida's finest oranges. They are 1/4 more juice. The juiciest and sweetest oranges come from Florida, and we reserve Florida's finest oranges for you under the Sealed Sweet label. Great. Accept this friendly offer. You send us $1.50 and we'll do something for you. Approved by Good Housekeeping Institute. And here's the back cover, an ad for Pierce Arrow. Now, that's a fancy car. Pierce Arrow, interior of the Series 36 enclosed drive limousine. Pierce Arrow inaugurates a new mode in interiors. Mode style. The world has long looked to Pierce Arrow for the richest and finest motor car bodies. Yeah, Pierce Arrow, fancy car. Great. All right, that's it. That's Life magazine from February 17, 1927. Glad you could join me on this little visit to the dentist's office. I think the doctor will see you now.